Now for my most recent and current ghost story. This is the house I'm living in right now. And we've been here, about 3 years now. And this house was built in 1957, and it was owned by 3 generations of the same family. So we are the first family to own this house, not from the original family when it was built. So it was the mother, father, and their children purchased it new in 1957. Those 2 passed, and I don't know which one went first. It went to the son, whose name was Donnie. And I'm giving you his name, his first name, for clarity as I go through the story. He had 5 children with his wife. They grew up, moved away. When his wife passed, he lived here for some time by himself. Then he became quite old. He's still living as far as I know, but he was very old, living in a nursing home in Florida, and the 5 children put it up for sale. There was one son who lived here for a few months, but not very long, did not make it a permanent home. And we purchased it from those 5 children who shared the proceeds. And I think it's important to give you the history of the house so that you'll know who I suspect is the current resident. So the things that have happened so far in this house, to me personally, was just something very, very minor. I was coming up the stairs from the basement. The laundry and several rooms are in the basement, and it's a walkout basement, so it walks out into my greenhouse. And you've seen that greenhouse in some of my other videos. So I was walking up those stairs, and I got a little tap on the shoulder right at the top of the stairs. Now, quite frequently, we have incidences with our pets who can see things, of course, that we can't. We will all be sitting here in this room. Now, this was originally the living room, and for us, it's our dining room. So I've got my bookshelf, and over here on this side is my computer hutch, and this is where I sit with my computer. And on the other side of the room is china cabinet, and then right in the center is our dining room table. Reason is the kitchen is designated an eat-in kitchen, you know, the old country style kitchens. And for me, there just is never enough counter space. And so I have what's called a cook's table in a baker's table in the center of the room, and I did not want my dining room table in there. It wouldn't match, and it was a little big for the space. So where the living room was is now our dining room. Now, it's not a real big deal for us because we don't entertain, and if we do, it's around the dining room table, not sitting in a living room with couches and that sort of thing. We have a large den, which was the garage, and it's converted to a den, and that space is, you know, couch and recliners and chairs and all of that. There's also a sunroom, which was the porch and built into a sunroom, where there's a lot of seating as well. So there's a lot of additions on to this house. Now, what we've been told by the neighbors is that after Donnie's wife passed, the children were all grown, he lived here alone, he started building, and he just started adding on to the house. So he added, enclosed the front porch and made it a sunroom, added a screen porch onto the back that has a roof and completely screened in room, added a conservatory out off of the walkout basement where my greenhouse now is. Problem is, Donnie wasn't real handy. He thought he was, but he wasn't. And so he did a lot of building, electrical, plumbing, and all of that was very subpar. And it definitely wasn't up to code. And it isn't functioning very well. And so poor us, poor my husband, we're having to tear off everything that he did and redo it from scratch. So it's double the work because you must tear off what he did and then redo it or change it. So where the conservatory was, it was too far gone for us to save. It was going to cost so much money to repair it that I just had the bright idea one day when my husband was talking about how much cost it was going to be. I said, why are you going to do that? Just tear it down and put a greenhouse there. You were going to put a greenhouse in the yard, just put a lean-to type greenhouse attached to the house. And he said, that's not a bad idea. And it saved us probably $10,000 in doing that and just ripping off the conservatory and putting the greenhouse there. So when we first moved in, the spirit was quite active. And probably because we were new and because we were having to do a lot of changes to the house just to make it livable. And as she started seeing that we were doing good things to the house, she calmed down a bit. And so we see her, well, we don't see her. We feel her, we know she's here, and most importantly, the dogs know she's here. She will stand at the kitchen sink. And I know it's a woman, I just feel it. I know it's a woman. What I am unsure of is whether it was Donnie's wife or whether it was Donnie's mother, both of which lived the majority of their life here. So the most active thing that she does on a regular basis is wake my husband up at 3:45 a.m. Exactly 3:45 a.m. And she will violently shake him awake. And what I'm thinking is that this area was a very big, booming industrial area. There were a lot of factories around. This is the fireworks capital of the United States. So there were a lot of fireworks factories. There were China factories. There was a lot of coke and steel, and that's those sort of factories, and the railroad comes through here. And where it's considerably died down now because that industry is no longer here and it's a very poor community now, it was in the 50s and throughout the 70s very booming. And so I really feel like it was either Donnie's mother or Donnie's wife waking up her husband to get up for a job that started very early in the morning, like a factory job. Just last night, my husband stays up later than me, and he went to bed. All the lights were off. He said he laid down and he could see a light floating past the bedroom door through the dark. He could see it shining underneath the bedroom door. Just lots of little things like that. We know she's here. And like I said, I feel like it's a woman. I know the presence is a woman, especially always standing at the kitchen sink. So we'll be here in the dining table. We like to play cards, and we'll sit around dinner. We always try to have dinner together as a family. And the dogs would just start going crazy, barking towards the sink in the kitchen. So we know she's standing there. Also, my little Yorkie, my male, will run down the hallway and bark in a bedroom. And on quite a few occasions, I have been in the back bedroom sitting, and he will hear something coming towards the bedroom and just freak out, go after it, and then get scared and come back and be near me, but still bark violently. And you know when it's coming towards the bedroom, and then is finally there in the doorway by his reactions, because of course animals see these things that we don't. So this is my reasoning for wanting to reawaken my psychic abilities that I've kind of, ignored for a number of years. And I'm going to be learning mediumship. I'm going to be taking those classes this fall, and I'll let you guys know how that goes and what skills I learn and how successful I am. Now, one of the things that's odd from this house, and the reason why I told you that Donnie lived here for a few years after his wife passed, and that's when he did all the construction and everything. Quite a few things were left in this house when we purchased it. 2 complete sets of living room dressers, the dressers and nightstand and the tall chest of drawers, the 50 style real wood, not particle board, real wood. So I was quite pleased at getting those because I like things like that, and we are slowly remodeling this house to bring back its era, to, make it a shabby chic instead of modern. And what's very, very odd is that there were TV sets in every single room. I'm not talking flat screens like we would like, but the great big box TVs in every single room. Now here in the dining room, it was one of those great big projection floor model TVs from like the 80s. Still works, but just 5 yards away from the dining room, which was his living room, into the kitchen, there was another television. He had taken the cabinet doors out and put a TV in there. In the bathroom, there was a television. In both bedrooms down the hall, a television. In 2 of the bedrooms downstairs in the basement, televisions. In the laundry room, a television. There were no cables in this house. There had never been cable set up. So no satellite dish, no cable. No antenna on top of the house. No wiring for any type of connection for these TV sets, which meant the only way he could view them was with DVD players, okay? Or old VCRs, whatever, for the era. Now, you're not going to watch a movie for 2 hours when you're in the laundry room starting the washing machine. And you're not going to watch a DVD player in the kitchen when you're cooking, especially not a man. A man is not going to cook for 2 hours and stand in the kitchen. And if he was, that big screen TV was here in this room, 5 yards away. So you're not going to sit in a jacuzzi tub or take a shower with a DVD playing for 2 hours. So why did he have televisions in every single room? I think he was listening to white noise. I think that spirit that's active while we're here was very active when he was here. And I think he was using the televisions turned on to white noise to communicate with her, to listen for her, to speak to him. And so I'm still unsure whether it was his wife or his mother, but it was one of them. So that's my interesting story about my current house. And like I said, I will keep you guys posted as I take these mediumship classes and as I learn new things. And share your experiences with me. I love to hear ghost stories and about spirits and unusual phenomena. So let me know, guys. And if you like the video, give me a thumbs up, okay? Have a good day.